implementation of the renewed hope agenda that will bring succor to Nigerians in the wake of the removal of petrol subsidy. Sifon Essien reports.
It's a race against time. President Tinubu has to form his cabinet before July the 28th, according to a new law that mandates the president to submit the names of his ministers to the Senate within 60 days of taking the oath of office. In 2015, it took then President Buhari 166 days to announce a cabinet. Recently, the special advisor to President Tinubu on special duties, communication and strategy, Dele Alake, said a cabinet list was not yet ready. But speculations are rife about those likely to make the list.
Other meetings will still be held in order to cross the T's and dot the I's.
These members of the ruling APC urged the president to act fast and end speculations.
Bring on board persons, technical persons who are going to start finding solutions to the new government and the new administration.
They suggest the president should form an inclusive cabinet cutting across party lines.
If you want to really have the best hand, have the best hand on board to do the job, then you have to be able to look beyond the party.
The president must strive a balance between the politicians, the professional politicians and the technocrats, so that he will have his vision for being the president of Nigeria achieved. He himself is a technocrat who turned a politician.
Beyond political considerations, there's the need for a team soon enough that will implement palliatives to cushion the effect of the removal of petrol subsidy.
I think I would recommend that we see cut in cost of other items, and I think he has given tax reduction, tax waiver to certain services and commodities.
So that in the end, all his ideas about transformation, restoration of what used to be our values and our stand in the international politics, like the statements he made in ECOWAS distance. He said Nigeria is back, and you saw him making presidential statements.
Definitely they are going to come in as experts in economics, experts in industrialization. They are going to be experts. They are not just going to be political wannabes.
While the clock ticks, the government has reaffirmed its commitment to the renewed hope agenda. Sifon Essien, TVC News, Abuja.
The governor of Taraba State, Kefas Habguk, has submitted a list of commissioner nominees to the State House of Assembly for screening and confirmation. The list has 21 nominees assigned with different portfolios. The spokesman of the State House of Assembly is yet to confirm names on the list, which is said to be dominated by youths and representatives across the state. Let's take a short break, and when we return, it will be time to speak with our guest of the day, who is a member of House of Representatives for Jos South, Jos East Federal Constituency, Dachung Musa Bagos, for discussion on the Plateau bloodbaths. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. You're still watching Politics Tonight, digging beyond the headlines. I am joined by a member of House of Representatives for Jos South, Jos East Federal Constituency, Honorable Dachung Musa Bagos, for discussion on the Plateau bloodbaths. Honorable Bagos is a two-time member of the House of Representatives on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Thank you very much for joining us, Honorable. It's so good to have you on the program again. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening. Good evening, Nigeria.
So let's start with insecurity in Plateau State. How will you assess the situation now?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the act of insecurity that is on the Plateau today, we won't just say, we will just call it casually, that is insecurity, but outrightly is genocide that is going on in our villages. Recall that one of the local government that has been the most peaceful local government on the Plateau since its creation. Mangu local government, which happens to be the local government of the current governor, start experiencing extreme, not just 1 or 2 killings, but an act of gruesome genocide that has been taking place on daily basis, killing people, and other local government, which has been an act, a form of attack, Riomberkin-Ladi, Jos South, which is my own local government. Yesterday evening around 10:30 p.m., 7 of my youths in my own village were gruesomely killed. One of the a woman that was around that vicinity, a stray bullet hit her. She's in the hospital, but her child, about 2 years old, killed. So you just, it's something that we have made it to be like the normal norm in the country, that 2-3 people are being killed on daily basis. We come to the TV, we talk about it, the press say what it is, and it goes. Insecurity, nothing happens. But until we start looking at it genuinely, that these are the real issues on ground. What is happening? It's genocide. What is happening is it is a mark and trying to be able to chase people out of their villages. Until we start identifying what is happening genuinely, then government will now know that, look, we need to look into this issue. But as long and as much as we keep sugarcoating what is happening as just a number of people are being killed on daily basis as if they are chicken, then nothing will be done. So these are issues that the insecurity that we are experiencing today, it shouldn't be looked as just an insecurity. It's an act of genocide. It's a gruesome attack. People are being chased from their lands on daily basis. These are issues that are happening, and that is why we are asking for how long.
So this issue of insecurity in Plateau State seems endless. I mean, looking at the myriad of problems Plateau State has grappled with for close to 2 decades, the security of lives and property has become the most pressing. Why has it become so intractable?
Yeah, because government in and out have not really addressed the issue as it is. I remember that the last administration, when the past governor said that he was able to achieve peace, I said, no, what you were able to achieve was political peace. And any peace that has been and is in any form achieved as a reason of political condition, it will not last. When interest overrides whatsoever you had been able to use at that particular point for your form of agreement, when it passes out, definitely everything will go back to square one. And so political peace can never solve any solution in terms of insecurity, because when you look at forms of conflict, you have almost like 5 different forms of conflict. When you have conflict that is being caused by information, conflict that is being caused by environmental issues, what is happening on the plateau, I will look at that kind of form of insecurity from conflict that has to do with environment, the environmental side of it. Number one, you need to look at the political side of it. Number two, look at what it has to do with the land. What does the land on the plateau has? Why is it that among other states within other regions, look at the issues of the insecurity across the country. When we are talking of Zamfara, what is in Zamfara today that Zamfara people are being killed on daily basis? Then it's because of the mineral resources. Come to Plateau. Look at why the insecurity issue in Plateau State has been ongoing. Number one, the mineral resources in Plateau. Check all the land that the bandits have captured and have chased Plateau people. Those places are where they mine tin. Those places are where our people do large scale of farming. Those areas are where you see that there are streams and the areas is very fertile and green. Those are issues that if government start looking at how systematic these bandits or these suspected herdsmen have been able to evade our people from different areas, you know that there is a reason why they are doing this. So if we just sit down and just assume that it's farmers and herders clash, which we have never accepted that it is a clash, that is where we always get it wrong. But when you look at what is going on now on the plateau, most of these areas that people are killed on daily basis, they have high scale of farming, they have high scale of mining of mineral resources. The 7 boys that were killed in my village yesterday, all of them were miners. All of them were miners. When you go to Mangu is the local government that has the highest scale of grains that come out of Plateau State and even in the Middle Belt to other parts of the country. When you go to Riom is one of the areas that you have high level of mining activities going on. And likewise, Berkeley. Today, one of the areas that we have always said since 2012, where the senator was killed and they have now renamed it as Mahanga, high level of mining activities is going on in that place that nobody can go in and go out unless you are one of them that is into high level of mining. Go to Wase, which is in Plateau State. The insecurity that is happening in Wase today is as a result of mining. And by the way, 90% of people, or 85 to 90% of people in Wase are Muslims. So are you saying that it's religious or it's farmers, herders clashing? No, because of the mining activities that is going on in those axes. So government needs to sit down to address these issues effectively. These crises that are going on, it is not religion at any level. I will always say that it is not religious, it is not farmers, herders clashes, but it is a genocide trying to grab the land of our people because of the resources we have, because of how agrarian our people are. That is what is happening on the plateau. So, but when we sugarcoat it and try to say that it is a political issue, we try to, then why is it that the peace is not going on? And that is one of the questions that I will want to even ask the former governor, that then he bragged that he has achieved peace because he gave them a commissionership. That is on the media. So who are those people that were able to compensate with a position of commissioner that were able to achieve peace? Who were those people that were able to compensate with various positions that you had? So which means you go and kill someone or you go and chase someone from your own land and you bring him to the table to negotiate instead of prosecution, which led us to the lack of justice. Because justice have not been dispensed to people that have been killed. Nobody has been brought to book. That is why these things are continuing on daily basis.
All right, Honorable. So these issues you have raised, are they restricted to those axes you mentioned or the states in general? And are these responsible for the latest killing spree?
Is it this issue of what? I couldn't...
All of these issues you raised earlier, I'm asking if they are restricted to those areas, to those axes you mentioned, or the states in general.
Yeah, because when you look at those areas, we have places that are hilly on the plateau. Nothing has happened there because the places are hilly. The places is not agrarian. You cannot farm very well in those places. You cannot at the same time rear cattle in those places. No mining activities in those places. No attack has taken place in those areas. You see that there are fertile places that you see, you have streams, places that you see that mining activities is going on. Those are the places that are being attacked on daily basis. And that should be able to make the federal government to start looking at the crisis that is going on within the northern region. Because the agitation that has happened in the past in the south, they were talking and they were agitating on the issue of resource control. And that was where they were given amnesty. But now in the north and in the middle belt, what are these people agitating for? Because if there is anyone that needs to agitate on anything, should be us, the landowners, that we are agitating for something. But somebody from somewhere has come and chased us out of our own land. So who is that person that you are expecting us to even negotiate with? So you will come and chase me out of my land, and I will come and negotiate with you to share the land or to leave the land for you? So we need to really come back to the table to look at the security situation, that the people that are living in all these places illegally should be chased out through security, using the security architecture. We appreciate all the security agencies within us. Security have information on where has been grabbed, who has been killed, what is supposed to have been done. But to us, at most times, is the political will to be able to execute this information that the security usually put on the table. Because you cannot tell me that someone will come in the middle of the day or in the early hours of the morning, you will follow a route to go and attack, still follow the same route, and you cannot trace those and to know where this person is coming from. Then in the 21st century, which means technology is no longer being used. And by the way, recently, these people have started using drones. These people in the hinterlands are using satellite phones. How did they get it? So if bandits are now using satellite phones, bandits are now using drones, you even hear that allegedly a helicopter come and drop something in the bushes for them. What is the work of the intelligence that the security agencies have on a daily basis? Why is it that our own security agencies, with the amount of monies that we have been able to allocate to them from the National Assembly, that will not be using technology to be able to get to these people? Today, remove technology from the West will be blind in terms of security. So we are blind in terms of security in this part of the world because we are not so much using technology. I expect that as Operation Safe Haven have relocated to Mangu, it shouldn't be just that they have relocated with machines, and so we should be able to have a situation room with screens that we are seeing here in the studio, that in this screen they have a whole map of Mangu, they have the whole map of Plateau. They can be able to monitor and see movements that are going on the ground from a room.
All right, so Honorable, talking about
that is technology addressing insecurity.
And now, Honorable, talking about Mangu now, between April and now, 204 persons were killed in 53 villages in Mangu. What makes it peculiar?
What is what?
You get my question. What makes Mangu peculiar?
Please come again. I said it earlier. Number one, why Mangu is peculiar, for me, I would look at it that why is it that when Mangu now has a governor, that the attacks started going to Mangu? And when you look at all the former governors, let me start from Darie. Darie is from Bagos. Bagos had attack because when Darie was from Bagos. When Jang became the governor again, Jang is from Jos South. Jang had that same attack. Now it is the governor from Mangu. Mangu is having this kind of severe attack. So these are issues that we need even to interrogate when it comes to political interest. But when it comes to the issue of land grabbing, when it comes to issue of what does each of this local government has as in terms of food crops, in terms of mineral resources, these are issues that we need to interrogate further. But when we now to sugarcoat it and say that it is farmers and herders clash, that is a narration that we will not and we will never accept it on the plateau. Because if it is farmers and herders clash, which means when there is a clash, both between the farmers and the herders, you will have casualties. But this is a situation where people are sleeping, someone will come and raid the entire house, burn their houses, even at some point, even go to their own farms and graze the entire farm. So even if the country, and even if government will not look at that very particular moment, Plateau State contributes to the GDP of this country not less than 20%, and at the same time, in terms of farm produce, come to Abuja here, most of the potatoes you find in various shops, be it ShopRite and other places, tomatoes, green beans, green potato, green pepper, and all of these are from Plateau. But I can tell you that next year you will not find it coming from Plateau because most of the farmers have been chased away from their lands. Mangu is where you get potatoes and grains alongside Bagos. Jos South is where you get at the same time potatoes, grains, and most of this cabbage and the rest. The same thing with Barkinladi, the same thing with Rio. So food security is something that will hit this country if care is not taken in 2024.
All right then. So before now, we used to witness killings in Plateau North, but now it's Plateau Central. If you're saying this is not a farmer herders clash, is this a case of isolated attacks or emerging patterns?
Well, it's like the output for me to get your final question is usually a problem. So can you still come again? Sorry.
Let me repeat my question. I mean, we're used to witnessing killings in Plateau North. So I'm saying now it's Plateau Central. But you have said, this evening you said, this is not a farmer-herder clash. And I'm saying, if it is not, is this a case of isolated attacks or emerging patterns? Did you get that, Honorable?
But this is something that, well, let me try to articulate what you just said. I couldn't get it all. But imagine, imagine, because if we don't address it, it will spread. And the mistake everyone will take on this matter is to just look at this issue as only Plateau. Before it engulfed even Plateau North, it started from a small ward, and it was coronated as religious. It was coronated as political. It spread out. Before it even went to Kaduna or to Benue, when we were shouting, we were saying that, oh, Plateau people, you don't want to live in peace. But if the real issues were looked upon at that very particular moment, we couldn't have been having these issues in Zamfara. We couldn't have been having these issues in Benue. Now it has got, because miners, when you want to mine, it is when you finish here and you see that it is there again in another place, they go for it. Today, NNPC have said there is oil in Bauchi. Let me tell you, if care is not taken and within Bauchi axis, because of that oil, because if there are mineral resources, they will go back to Bauchi. Tomorrow they are saying Nasarawa, you will see it there. So government should be able to take charge of these areas when there is perceived issues of mineral resources. And God forbid, history does not lie. Check the Central African Republic. How and why is Central African Republic what it is today? As a result of mineral resources. Government did not take it serious then. Now the issue of banditry in Central African Republic, it has worsened. So God forbid that we don't take these issues very serious and we look at it as if Plateau people don't want to live in peace. We look at it politically, we look at it religiously, and the bandits are doing and having an international network, and they come and tear this country because of mineral resources. Tomorrow you will see every mercenaries in different places holding different regions, and God forbid that we become a failed state. These are issues that government needs to call a national confab on insecurity, not a summit. A confab in the sense that every region, every state should be able to bring in its representative. Let's be able to sit down and look at this issue of insecurity. Because we have said that, look, if issue of state police is not being looked into, let us start policing our areas. That will be one of the solutions, because we will now know who truly is for us and who is not for us. I can clearly tell you, show you if I can use my phone on this medium to show you what, before the attack of yesterday, and this is something that the world and even the military should take it very serious. Before the attack yesterday in my own village, someone in a military uniform was seen moving within the environment. But youth saw someone that, look, this person does not look like someone that is, even if it is a military, we have not been seeing him around the checkpoints within the environment. And the youth apprehended him. That is state police. The youth apprehended him in a military uniform. But they now found and saw an ID card. If you can zoom, you will see this ID card that was apprehended from him yesterday. This ID card, it says Nigerian military, but he does not have name, no rank, nothing. So, which means some people have infiltrated the Nigerian military without them knowing. So, people will use uniform of the military or the police to enter into environments that are porous, environment that when people see uniformed people and they kind of now say, oh, we have gotten hope, they never knew that they are people that are there to cause a havoc. So if these youth had not apprehended this person because it was suspicious yesterday, we don't know how it could have happened. So the security agencies need to do more. They need to look at people that have infiltrated them. They need to look at who is genuinely a military person, because this is a fake ID card. We appreciate the Operation Safe Haven, the revered and the celebrated STF commandant, which Plateau people celebrated when he came to Plateau, because he was in Plateau, they saw what he did. And I'm sure if for him to relocate to Mangu as of yesterday, we were going to have some relief. So when we see security agents and agencies that look, they have given their heart to ensure that we are peaceful, we celebrate them. But the bad eggs among them need to be fetched out. They need to do more than that. So we are calling on government to look into this issue of insecurity on the plateau, not just with an open eye, but with a very serious goal and binocular to look at who is doing what, and at the same time to give justice to these people. At the same time, let our people go back to their lands, let our people start farming. We have fertilizers now, we don't even know where to and how to share the fertilizers, because the people have left their farms.
All right, so Honorable, I mean, from a lawmaker's point of view, are you saying the military is powerless on this matter?
No, not that the military is powerless. Every military in every country in the world has the capacity. Every military in the world has the capacity to be able to address issues. And I know when we discuss with the military, they always talk about collateral damage. For us in the plateau as it is now, our people are being killed 200, 300 on daily basis. If you have collateral damage of 50 people and the issue is being solved, we won't mind. Because how can we continue our people in numbers within 1 month or within a year, you will find hundreds of people are being killed and you will not take action and you are scared of collateral damage? They have the capacity. I always praise the DSS and other security agencies that look, they have information of what is happening on a daily basis. They have information on each and every one of us. But executing this information is what has been able to be the problem, and which is part of the political will. From the way I have seen the president, from how he have taken the issue of insecurity by changing the service chiefs, from him to even give my governor an audience, it shows that he's interested in addressing the issue of insecurity. But time is not on our side. Whatsoever plan the president has, he needs to unveil and execute it immediately. Immediately. because we can no longer sit and see how we are being killed on a daily basis. Every day now, if you wake up in the morning and you say, thank God. Even the security agencies, even the security personnel, at some point, they are not safe. Because you have a checkpoint with about 2 to 3 people with only 3 AK-47, and these people come in numbers. They will outrun the security agencies. Many of them, the security personnel, many of them have been killed at one point or the other across the country. So we need to look at this issue that, look, we are and we have the responsibility to give security to Nigerians. It is no longer time for politics. Time for politics has gone. It is no longer time for blame game. Whatsoever we want to achieve as politicians, everybody is in office. It is time for governance. And time for governance between now and 2027, if we don't secure these people, who will even vote for us again? Even if for selfish reasons. If we don't even secure these people, how are we going to even get the food? Are we going to start importing food, doing subsidy to import farm produce? So, political statement on issue of insecurity in Nigeria, the time is over for this. I want to call on the president on my knees and on the knees of Plateau people that he should be able to address the issue of insecurity. If the IG will relocate to Plateau, if the Army Chief of Staff will relocate to Plateau, if all the military and the security personnel will relocate to Plateau, just like they relocate them during season elections, that you will have 20,000 personnel to a state to protect votes. We need those 20 to 30, 40,000 personnel on the Plateau to protect people. Because now it is Plateau. If we don't address it, we don't know which state will come next.
All right. Tonight we're discussing the unending insecurity situation in Plateau State with a member of House of Representatives for Just South, Just East Federal Constituency, Honorable Datung Musa Bagos. We'll take a break and I'll be right back. Stay with us.
Lagos is the most visited state in Africa as the 5th largest economy on the continent. Covering the state and its government is no mean feat, it's a busy beat. We go beyond the curtain of tapes to traveling far into the deep.
I want to thank the Lagos State government for the healthcare facility.
To bring stories that cut across all spectrums.
A greater Lagos shall be ours.
We tell you stories that define our collective well-being as Lagosians. I'm Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
Welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us. You're watching Politics Tonight, digging beyond the headlines. And tonight we're discussing plans to bloodbaths with a member of House of Representatives for Just South, Just East Federal Constituency, Honorable Datung Musa Bagos. All right, Honorable, earlier you talked about policing ourselves and you were quoted as advising the people to arm and defend themselves. Now, don't you think this will only worsen things?
Don't I think what?
You were quoted as advising the people to arm and defend themselves. So I'm asking, don't you think this will only worsen things?
Well, if you check my statement, I did not say arm. I just say defend. I have my house. I protect and I defend my house with a gate. I have my own dog and I have my own security personnel, a private security personnel. So when I say everybody should defend himself, when you are defending yourself, I cannot sit down in this studio. You're watching me and I have somebody attacking me and I'll just sit down and open my neck for him to kill me. If I say defend yourself, which means we should be vigilant. We should no longer go and sleep. We should be vigilant and wait for whosoever wants to come and attack us. Because when they see you, you are waiting for them. Even from afar, they know that you are waiting for them. So it's not about arming yourself. As a Christian, the Bible told me that I should be as wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove. So when we just sit down and talk about defending ourselves, and someone will assume that we should just start carrying AK-47. In as much as those people carry AK-47, it doesn't mean that we cannot be able to tactically know that these are the people that are coming. And when you are talking about defending yourself, which means in terms of vigilante, you need to work with the security personnel. When we have the number of the security personnel we need within our environment, it is our defending ourselves. What happened in the Northeast, the civilian JTF, it's civilian defense. The civilian JTF were not military personnel. Those were civilian defense. They were able to go out, gather information for the security. That is self-defense.
All right.
So today, if we can be able to ensure that our vigilantes are active, our hunters are active, we should be able to see that the Operation Rainbow we have in the state is working very well. We should be able to see that we have synergy with security agencies. That is self-defense. Because what Constitution says in Section 32 to 33, 33, 18 to 20, it says that we have the right to livelihood and on our own lives and property. And it explains how that you have the right to defend your life, you have the right to defend your property. And it all depends on the strategy you have to do that. So, but if you are able to defend your life and your property against the person that wants to take, the law is with you. But if you go and do it unlawfully, the law will be against you.
All right, Honorable.
Definitely,
so the governor
we don't have the license to take guns as individuals. So if you are found with AK-47 as a civilian, you should know that you are against the law.
So the governor has imposed a curfew in the area. Now, to what extent can this help?
As someone with faith, I can quote the Bible in the sense that when David defeated Goliath, Goliath as a soldier has a sword, but David had no sword, but he defeated Goliath.
All right, Honorable. Now, the governor has imposed a curfew in the area. To what extent can this help stop the killings?
Well, the curfew usually ensure that people are calm, giving people confidence. And whenever there is curfew in any form and in any society, the persons you see within the streets are security personnel. So in such situation, if anything happens again, which means the security personnel that are supposed to have guarded the people should be held responsible. So the curfew is to be able to put people in check that please stay put, we want to take action. And doing that, what the governor has been able to do, that everybody should stay where he is, the security should be able to take charge. That's what curfew means. So the security are parading and are looking at every environment, every corner, and when everybody is within his own domain, the security will know and be able to dictate any movement easily. And if you're supposed to be within your own compound, and the security are parading and looking for suspects or trying to control the situation, they see you outside, you will be a suspect. So the issue of the curfew is to be able to how to foster law and order and to be able to foresee who likely will be the suspect.
All right then. I mean, Governor Mofwang is less than 2 months in office and sadly facing such challenge. But what impact do you think this will have on his administration?
Well, he's a very intelligent and experienced man that's ready for any challenge at any point in time. These issues will not stop. Governance must continue. Governance must continue. I can recall during the Jan era, every year he ran his entire 8 years with one crisis or the other, but he came out as one of the best governors in terms of infrastructural development, in terms of human capital development. His rating was very high. So while this is going on, this is one of the challenges of governance. And I'm very positive and very sure that His Excellency Barrister Caleb Mutfwang will be able to do justice in as much as he is working day and night to ensure that Plateau people are peaceful. He will not allow the issue of insecurity to stop him from giving dividends of democracy to the people of Plateau State in terms of infrastructural development, human capital development, and looking at the education. And when you see, even despite with the curfew in Mangu, people that are writing their NECO, he was able to make arrangement for them to write their NECO effectively. So NYSC, the NYSC camp, which is located in Mangu, he has relocated the NYSC camp to another big location within the city center. So he is working. The issue of insecurity will not stop him. He is doing verifications on daily basis to be able to pay the backlog of salaries. Today, he just received a report of what has happened in the state in the past 8 years in terms of the debt profile and so on. So he is working on daily basis to see how we can address these issues and at the same time to be able to provide and give Plateau people dividends of democracy. One thing we know, we don't want to take it as a mark that because the PDP is now in power, no. We want to take it as a mark that this is another challenge that the PDP administration need to overcome and give people of Plateau State the hope, because we seek for this position and we need to look for solutions to be able to build hope in the hearts of people of Plateau State that we can do this, we can give them what we have promised them during campaign. This will not deter the governor or any of us that have been voted into power, but rather this will open our eyes and our horizon to see that we should be able to think out of the box to do the right thing.
All right. So as a ranking member of the House of Reps, how are you collaborating with other lawmakers to solve the security challenges?
There is no week, or let me even say the day or any day of sitting on the floor of the House that a member does not have an issue that have to do with insecurity, be it banditry, be it kidnapping, be it whatsoever. There is no week, or in a week you can have that there is no day, be it in the House of Reps or even in the Senate. So this is an issue that has disturbed and is worrying each and every member. In the 9th Assembly, there is no 360 federal constituency that you don't have one issue or the other, be it kidnapping or be it banditry. We have brought out resolutions to the last administration on daily basis on how to be able to address issues, even calling for the change of service chiefs. But in the 10th Assembly, even before we were able to get to 2 months, the current president has changed service chiefs. He has been able to have meetings with governors that have the issue of insecurity in their various states. And we believe that with this collaboration, our resolutions from the House will be able to have attention from the President. Having the Chief of Staff, who is and was our former Speaker and leader, who on daily basis, it is tears, only tears that he was not be able to shed physically, but he shared it within himself, and he has discussed it, that this is what has been disturbing him. Now that he is with the executive, we are very positive that our cry that he has had in the past 4 years, he will not allow it to get into the next 4 years.
Right. So some residents have accused security agents of complicity in these attacks. Is there any basis for this conspiracy theory?
Well, the conspiracy theory is there and will always be there as long as the security agencies did not look at who truly is theirs and is not, and as long as they did not fish out the bad eggs among them, and Nigerians will now see that they are the bad eggs among them are facing justice. As long as these people are not, like I showed yesterday, the person that was apprehended with military uniform within my own constituency was in a fake uniform, carrying a fake ID card. So, unless he's been proven, so these are issues that when it happens, with what has happened yesterday, with the entire village, the village will now look at it that, oh, in as much as it was fake, but the name soldier or the name security has already married to that. So public perception should be able to, it's what the security agencies need to be able to clear off on their names, and in whatsoever strategy they want to engage with the people, so that the people will now know this is the genuine security personnel within you. If it means to overhaul the entire uniform before the other people, well, at times you even have collaborators that when this is going on, another thing is going on. So proper investigation, proper cleaning of the system needs to come into place by the security agencies among themselves.
So some Nigerians have called for negotiation with bandits to solve the security challenges in the country. As a lawmaker, what's your position on this?
Definitely, I will not support a negotiation with a bandit that has come to kill my people. Because what are they agitating for? I gave an example earlier that the Niger Deltans were agitating for something. So even if there was somebody you could be able to identify in the Niger Delta region where they now got amnesty, it is their own people. This person can be able to say that this is my brother, but my brother is a militant or was a militant and now has amnesty. But with what is happening within us, be it in Plateau, be it in Jos, be it in Mangu, Wase, or be it in Zamfara or Benue, it is not us. So how, when we are crying that our mothers are being killed, our fathers are killed, our children are killed on a daily basis, and someone will now come out, identify himself, and say that, well, I was the person that killed these 300 people. Come, I can only give you peace in this place if you give me 50% of your land. Is that justice? Is that the kind of negotiation we want to do with bandits that are killing us? I expect that if government have been able to identify these people, because they are bandits without a reason that has any growth to our own people, they should face justice. They should be in jail. When others start seeing that government is taking these people to jail, then they will stop. They will look for another environment or another country, because look, they know that if you do this thing in Nigeria, you are not going free. So these are issues that the justice system needs to come into play. Why these things are continuing on daily basis is that the justice system has not really shown and given us confidence.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable.
Go, like when children, when the youths are crying and they start saying, this is a suspect, they will say, if we have just taken him to police. In the next 2 or 3 days, we will see him on the streets.
Thank you very much, Honorable. We're out of time.
Confidence in terms of insecurity, dispensing justice is issue that we need to look into it very well.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Dachung Musa Bagos, member of the House of Representatives for Just South, Just East Federal Constituency, and tonight to discuss the unending insecurity situation in Plateau State. Thank you very much, Honorable. It's a pleasure having you on the program tonight. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. And by the grace of God, it will no longer be an unending. We want to call on government that this thing must come to an end. Enough of this is enough. We need to see confidence, and we need to see something from government.
All right. I thank you very much for watching. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But the conversation continues from here. Get in touch with us on Twitter at TVC News NG and at Olajumoke using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Join us for the repeat episode at midnight and tomorrow for another edition of Politics Tonight. Digging beyond the headlines. I am Olajumoke Olatuji. Goodbye.
Bye, Mom.
He's going to play in this weather? Why did you let him go? He might fall ill.
And if he doesn't go out for practice, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from illness-causing germs during the rainy season, we use Dettol soap every day.
Dettol with germ defense gives